Throw her out, she's too damn happy.
What'd you call me?
Said throw her out, she's too damn happy.
I don't know how to be happy. I have my dad bled all over my carpets in my living room. Like, all over. It's so clear that my house and there's no one there, and I'm like terrified.
That's so casual.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just another day in her house. Said, yeah, just another day in your house.
Yeah, pretty much. Bernard State signed in again.
What's that?
Bernard State signed in again. He doesn't log out, which isn't good because this time it was his actual rack thing.
yeah.
Someone could have gotten into his
You should go enroll him for early childhood development.
And 6 other courses.
Trig, discrete math.
It's better in than that.
He'll get it. After a while, he'll be like, wow, I really need to log out.
Put him in all the classes.
Let's see.
And Trevor.
Are we gonna have the final?
So
What was that, Dan?
you're going to have to hand this in as your final, what we're working on, however far we get.
Like,
Well, we're kind of working on it now, right?
I mean, like, it's not gonna be like most classes where you have a separate project or something.
No, you'll have 10 questions at the end. And you'll have plenty of time to do them, 10 or 20. You'll have plenty of time to do them. So at this point, right, we're working out of some of you might not be working out of your me site. I really don't care. What I care about is the final product. Open folder. Okay, good. That should be closed. JS. And I want to stop screen sharing for a minute. Just getting my code ready. I'm looking at, I'll start screen sharing again in a minute. Just don't want to be divulging any passwords or anything when I look at my FTP config. I am opening my code. I'm going to create a new branch for today. 2019-04-23. You may find you need your code open. You may find you don't. At the end of the day, I'm just getting prepared so I don't have to stop and wait or do anything.
You're branching off your 502-0 or you're off your master?
Whichever one your latest is. I'm off my master. You can merge into your, at this point, you can merge into your master if you want, if you're comfortable with what you have, and then branch off again, however you want to do it. Come in here. I know I'm connected and I'm good. There is my, I'm going to just make sure my style's open, my JavaScript's open, and my index in case I need to get to any of them. All right. So essentially your assignment, which I put the code in and everything for you, was to go and at least position yourself for content, correct? If you did get the work done, what you should end up with, if I remember, unfortunately, I do have to, you know what? I'll just change my path over here. Remember, I did a different parent so that I could work with you guys. I had to step backwards and I got kind of screwed up there. On my pages, I recreated the pages for you. So I think it was class demo 782. Isn't that funny? 728 to 782. I'm going to leave that there so that I don't have to go looking for it again. I'm going to save that, and that hopefully will push up. Inspect, empty cache, network. Parent 329. Holy crap, am I pulling from the right site here?
Let us make a welcome to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm wondering what happened here. Let me make sure I opened the right one. Open folder. Yeah, it's a good idea, Jimmy. I should just go back and look at what the hell I was working in, right? That might make sense. Funny how that works.
Yeah, it looked like you had a welcome to me page on WordPress.
That's the 329. I guess what I'm confused about is I tried to flip it over because I backed up to the content that I was putting for you. You know what I mean? And it's weird. I just went to 5XX to just do it from there.
Bless you.
Bless you. That's going to say parent. Let's try uploading. Oh, wrong. Nope. 502. Step 502. Let's pull back out of here. Let's go into my folder. Yuck. Go away. Get out of here. can't stand looking at myself. It's like the worst thing in the world to me, man.
Imagine what we have to put.
Uh,
I don't know what Jason would say. Jason trying to sit over there quiet. You make it turn any bigger, and I can read it.
just bear with me. Yes. You have like microscopic, you put your screen on like microscopic mode, man. I look at your screen, I'm like, how does he even read that thing, man? Phew. It's crazy.
What do you mean?
And there's max headroom.
I even messed with the setting early this morning. I went through and Googled.
Oh, that just goes through me.
I think it's our end.
Almost. It's there. Hang on, I'm having technical difficulties trying to pick up where I left off.
Like Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Standard, so.
Yeah. The 70s freezing.
Staying in Hawaii with people full knit caps and parkas and gloves, and it's like 65 degrees in Hawaii. And I swear they're looking up to see if it's gonna snow. It's like, dude, you ain't even close.
Is this the year?
We were down at a cabin on the beach and we got a breeze. It was like 75 degrees in the evening. And my daughter and her friend and stuff were all going inside to get sweaters. Outside it's like 75 degrees.
We'll do it like this. If you don't have your content in, this is a great opportunity for you. It's all in the rubric. It's right there. Short of me doing it for you. Just putting that out there. Oh, don't do this to me, not now. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Gonna do something really dangerous. I must have changed the password out there. Just want to get going. Come on. All right. Hopefully this approach will work out. I can't sit here and set up servers all day. All right. So I'm inside 502 right now. You can be in wherever you want to be, kind of thing. I'm going to just get that ready so that I have it there, and I'm going to get my JS ready so I have it there. Close that off. Go in my JS. I think I said 782. 82. I'm going to save that. Yes. So essentially, this is where we started off, right? My image is not coming in. It's a little angry at me. There it is. It just took a minute. Probably because we're on lightning fast fiber optic internet connection. What can I say? So I think that image will hop in at a point here. We're going to go ahead, and everybody should have, at this point, you should have this. Correct? Yeah. I mean, if you have other stuff, that's good and fine, right? But that should be your bare minimum. So what we're going after, right? I want our last day of class to be, you'd be able to walk out of here with the video, and hopefully some of you actually caching as well, so that we kind of have that foundation laid out so you can go in and you can continue to manipulate it, but you truly have a responsive portfolio site that you can use. That's my goal. That is my goal. And with that, what we're going to do is kind of like what I'm doing a little bit with 115 right now is we're going to leverage Bootstrap and the library and the components, and then you're going to be able to go and, right, as you move down, style them a little differently, things like that. But let's make sure you're getting a true, good-looking, right, site, the way that it's working. Our first is about us. So one of the things that we want to address, and we don't really want to address all the time, but honestly, right now, we don't want to address everything all the time, but right now, we want to see our content fitting correctly. And what we're ending up with in our sections is that padding, that margin on the top that we had in the CSS, if you didn't correct it already. And so what we need to do to correct that real quick, and again, let's not get hung up on style and things like that today, but let's address when we have to, right? We'll address it. I don't know why I opened up scrolling nav instead of style, but I did.
Can we go to the screen share,
Oh my gosh.
please? Please. Thank Max Headroom out.
If you were here, you would annoy yourself.
I know. I listened to the recording. I was like, I can't listen.
Stop. You're making me feel like I did some drugs, bad drugs, like bad drugs, and then drank like a bottle of Jack on top of it. And then went home with somebody I didn't want to. And I'm doing the walk of shame now. Down Main Street in Kutztown, Savannah. I believe that's our section here, right? Let's take a look at that. And one of our containers. So our section height is set automatically. It's that padding at the top that we did, or I did. I don't know if you did or not. So all I'm going to do, and nothing else, right? I don't want to do anything else because we just want to stay focused on moving forward. What I am going to do, if you're working off of your server, whatever you're working off of, you might have to push it live or whatever. But I'm going to go into this section padding, and I'm going to set it to, I think, just 20. And in doing that, I imagine when I scroll up, I'm not going to be happy with what happened. Although the picture will be up against there. I lost my picture. I'm not going to worry about that at the moment, right? But the picture will be up there. So what I want to do is nth, I think 0 would do it.
Increase the size.
Did I do this? Did I do it right?
So
If anybody knows off the top of their head, CSS nth, CSS nth child. That's where I screwed up. So what nth allows us to do is basically reach out and say, it's not nth child. Selector. Yeah, right. You see where I'm going here? Like, is that what you're finding of type?
Of type, last of type.
I'm going after the first section. So where did you see this of type?
This is just
Of type, nth of type.
these commits bottom number.
Gotcha. And I think we might want that, right? So the section is inside of main. So that's what we want, I think. Source, main. Is that an ID or is that, look? Nope, it's our tag. Nth child. One, is it? Maybe. Nth of type. Let's try that. Section. Okay. We'll stop trying to be slick about it and we'll say section IMG. And what's the name of that image? Container, row, content here. Oh,
Round in the circle.
there it is. Right? That's it. Copy. That's what we want. And we could even go this far and say this class, round circle image, because all we want is the first section. We don't want it jammed up against the top. That'll just drive me. I can't develop with it like that, believe it or not. Like, it'll drive me nuts. Try that. Try it in here. Margin. Top 150 px. That's better. HEIGHT 150 px. Width 150. I'm just opening it up because I don't feel like dealing with the image right now. Background color so we can see it. Right, whatever. This quick. Margin. Auto. Beautiful. Just want that there. So again, right, when we're developing, the biggest thing that we don't want to do is end up dumping this ton of time into addressing things we can just address later, right? We're trying to get our layout done. We're trying to get our framework done. We're trying to get our right site to a place where we're happy. So at this point, hopefully, if I go to about, good. My content is there. Yes.
Last week we worked with the profile image.
Yep.
Are we just adding on to that, or are we just redoing it?
Well, I just don't, I have to go in and get that background image to work. That's all. Right. We made it responsive through changing it through the media queries, right? I lost that.
Oh, yeah. So if we have that up, we're good.
Yeah, you're great. As a matter of fact, if you have that code, you can Slack it to me so I can jump ahead here. Teacher's allowed to cheat.
I'll send it.
I'm just looking at some padding, just seeing what it does real quick, because we're going to want to place our content, and our padding is something that we're going to want to, right? So I'm thinking like 30 on the top and 20 on the sides, maybe even 10 on the sides, but we could do that through Bootstrap as well. But for right now, I don't want to fight. I just want it to look decent. And so now I think that looks a lot better than what it did. Should be able to go home. We got that. We're good. Cool. So I'm going to go. This is good enough. If you have it better, good for you at this point up here. But I'm going to go to about. In the about section, you know what's kind of funny is we won't do it, but just as an idea, if any of you want to explore, you could actually make a div here and overlay it over these two sections. What you would do is you'd make it the height of the section, and then you would increase margin, top margin by whatever. And the reason I'm saying this is it might be a cool effect that if your image and your name, if you made them sticky and you put them in that div, as it scrolled, the image and the name would stay put until it hit here. And then the text would be underneath it, and then it would start scrolling up with it. So I'm going to put creative ideas out there for you, but I'm not going to waste time trying to explore them. But these are the things you think of when you're developing, and that would be your third time through, right? So at this point, let's get, make sure you have Google open, obviously. Get Bootstrap. Make sure we have that open and go to documentation. And let's make sure that we have our me site open as well. Right now I'm working, I believe, in the class demo bin of my me site. My home is what we worked on last week with the image, and that's in there. And I'm not going to put any more time into that. I'm going to come to my about. So I encourage you, you don't have to stay with me. You can. But if you step off immediately, if you see something you want to step off on and you want to stay with me, what I would do is comment out the link to what you want to step off to. Does that make sense?
I posted what I have in my staff sheet, Slack.
All right, thank you. So the first thing we want to do, right, is we want to essentially just make something about us. And so there's some different ideas that we can do in here. And we could start with, we could start with just a classic content, which is, I don't want to go far off of classic content, but what I would like to do is, kind of just take you a little bit. We could go in, you could do a Jumbotron if you wanted to, right? And you could do something creative with that. That might be cool inside there for about you. There's a bunch of different things. One of the big things that's happening right now, I see in a lot, and it's kind of crazy, is more and more people are including like videos and stuff like that in their portfolios and in their when they submit for a job, they'll actually put in a video, introducing themselves and stuff like that. I'm just trying to find what a good quick solution would be. And I'm thinking at this point, we probably would just go ahead. Let's see what we have under content. It's just going to be typography and stuff. Awesome. So at this point, what I would do is this. Lorem ipsum generator. I would say generate, what do you think? 2 paragraphs about yourself? I think that's acceptable. Copy. Come to my me site. Some lorem ipsum generators are better than others. This one isn't the best. It's all right. But some of them actually will like give you the formatting and everything, like paragraph tags in it, which is nice. Here we have to add paragraph tags. So at this point, we're also going to get a feel for how much we screwed up our containers, right? Because we're going to get some content in there and see what it looks like. So I just pasted that in there. You don't have to word exactly what I put. Honestly, I'm just pulling my wording out of my hoo-ha. So if if something hits you, like a title or something like that, put that in there. Don't, because remember, you want this to look good. This is about you. So now at this point, if I come in here and I refresh, and I go to About Me, it's all right. It's acceptable. As a matter of fact, that's acceptable enough that probably what I might do is the only thing else I might do that, and we know how to do it to a degree, but let's go ahead and do it the right way. And let's see how Bootstrap tells us to add, you know what I mean, an image in there. So this one is image. We could specify the source elements with this one if we wanted to. For now, we'll just go ahead and you can grab that. And all we're going to do here is we're actually going to go ahead and put it. You know what? I think we're going to create another row. I'll show you here in a second what I'm doing if you're like, what the hell, dude? And the reason I'm going to create another row is because I want it to be independent, right, of the content below. It might work differently later at a later point. You might decide, you know what I mean? Like, don't really like that. I hate that I can't format my, drives me nuts. In my alt, just in case I forget to come back to it, I'm going to put Brian Savage. Why? Biggest reason, Google indexes my site. They see alt Brian Savage. They know they're in an image. They believe that's an image of me, and they index the image of me, right? And one less rating for that damn hockey player who always gets the pictures. Going to go ahead and put a placeholder in there. You said you slacked me that. I'll just steal it out of there instead of going and looking for it. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's all good. I just want the image at the moment. Path to placeholder.
That's for the bigger one.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and do, I think 150. We're try that out. And the nice thing is once we have our code in, we can go back and look at it then. So we did my update, and I'll pause for a minute then for anybody who. If your content exceeds, for now, we're hiding it. If it exceeds, don't get bent out of shape. We'll go over that. We'll go over how to deal with that, how to like roll it up and say, read more kind of thing. All right. So I wanted that independent just because I put it in its own row because, well, just because I'm funny like that. If I go in and I take a peek at this. Yep, that's good. That's good. We're good. So I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. Those of you that go nuts like me, HTML, BEAUTIFUL. I will admit it. It's very inefficient, but I can't stand it. And when I'm working in WordPress, I haven't been able to find the plugin yet, but this is what I do. This makes me feel better. Looks cleaner in there. And I will put my about stuff in there, and I want you to do it right now when you get it in. We can worry about coming back here, right, and text aligning and different things like that, then, you know, like really curtailing it. But right now, what we do know is that that's pretty decent, right? Even when we scale it out. And I'm just going to wait a brief moment for you to get that, and then we're going to move on to experience. If you need to see something, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to work ahead, not work ahead, but decide. Make a corporate decision. So again, right, we're trying to get to that point that we can really move forward. So we're kind of aggressively going at it today a little bit. But what we do know, hopefully, if you don't, we should take a different approach. But hopefully we all at least have like 3 job-based experience things. Maybe not. And I'm going to go at it as assuming just taking that we can. Where I'm grabbing this from is in Bootstrap, it's cards. And cards are a popular way of presenting like pieces of information about, what's going on and things like that. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do what's called a card deck. And by the way, you can take cards out and you can add cards in if you want to as well. I'm going to copy this, and the minute that I copy it, I will immediately so you can start working with me. I'm going to take this card deck and I'm going to go out to my pages. What? Something wasn't saved. I'm going to go to experience. Right where that P is. I'm going to replace that P. My H2 is going to say the things I have done. ... In all my anal retentiveness, I'm going to select all, copy, go over here, paste that in, format, because that's so much easier to work with, in my opinion. So I really didn't change anything. All I did was format my text, right? The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take that placeholder image again. And everywhere that I see an image, but this time, I think what I'm going to do is, I believe if we go the first number, we can test that real quick here. First number is width, second number is height. So XY. I'm going to put 150 by 75 to start. Again, we'll come back and fix images and stuff like that at a later time. It makes no sense to use our time now. We want this laid out so we can start arguing with the client about what content they have to give us, right? Like, honestly. I'm just using a placeholder image in there. If you know off the top of your head, just to give it a little bit of a different flavor as you're looking at it, what you could do is where it says card title, right? Put in 3 places that you've worked. It's the last 3 places. Just so that you have something to differentiate, right? And then hit update.
I want to match that up to your resume, maybe.
Yeah, but we're not worried about that right now. We're worried about laying our site out, right? So whatever 3 places come off top of your mind, just to put some spice into this very boring site that we're creating at the moment, right? So I'm going to go to home. That looks good. Going to go to about. That looks good for a starting line. Experience. That looks all right. Right? It's good enough. It's good enough for right now. I need to get rid of that content, and it looks like, is my experience bleeding over?
Yeah.
It is. So we did add that in there, which was section overflow. You should already have this, I believe. Hidden. There we go. And again, when we come back through, right, we might reduce the size of these cards a little bit, things like that. Every once in a while, remind yourself that you're using Bootstrap and you might not be happy with the results. But remind yourself the cool thing, if you look, so we put these cards in, right? And as it's using all 5 breakpoints.
Right there for a while, isn't it?
Yep. And we'll come back and take care of that then. Not right now, but we'll come back and take care of it then. Just like that title. I don't like that, you know? So because we're building, right? Because we're building, it is in my opinion that we could just use the same damn thing we just put in our experience. Consistency is not a bad thing. There's all different cards you can come back to then, right? Styling and things, but honestly, I'm going to take what I have in my experience content, select all and copy. Anytime now. I'm hardwired in today too. I brought my adapter. So that's my experience content. And by the way, I will stay until this is done today for anybody who wishes to keep working through this. And I'll upload, you know, if you got to go, you got to go. I get that, but I'll keep recording as well. So we have experience. I'm going to go back out to my pages now. Honestly, if I were pressed to get this done, I'm happy enough with experiences. Geez, I mean, you could go through almost the whole site and just put this in, right, and then start manipulating as you want to. We're not going to do that though. But I'm going to go ahead and put under education the same thing, exact same thing that I have under experience. And I'm going to put in here the things I have learned. Being a little, right, being a little funny in your site is not a horrible thing if it fits your personality. You know what I mean? Showing character is not a bad thing.
It's like a resume. You have to take it depending on where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
And if it's you know, you to show your artistic and personal side. If it's a business, but
And in here, you might, if you're like me, you might have additional cards. And so putting in all your cards is not necessarily a bad thing. I'll leave it at 3 for now. Colorado State, Iraq.
I have a quick question that's not really relevant.
Mm-hmm.
These card title boxes, do you think that you could turn them into a light box?
Mm-hmm. Actually, though, there's a lot you can do with them. There's a lot you can do with them.
I like the way it looks.
There's a lot of pre-written stuff out there. Well, Bootstrap's modals, right? You're talking light box, Bootstrap, we would call them a modal, are basically the same, almost the same look.
Okay.
So you're maybe not the exact same look, but your starting line is pretty much what you look at with those, right? It's a nice effect.
Yeah, I hate the light box that I use for my personal portfolio site, so I'm going to redo it. But I really like the way this.
I don't think using Bootstrap is a bad idea.
Well, I got mine off the boot.
So what I have done and what I've learned, I've obviously screwed. Oh, I didn't screw anything up. It's the wonderful web. There we go. Go up here, go to about, go to experience, go to education. Of course, it's overflowing, and we're going to take care of that later. We're fine with that the way that it is. And we'll try to differentiate, right? We don't really like that experience and education look like they just run into each other, and we can take care of that then. We might choose to, right? I'm not going to go there. What we want to get is 2 or 3 different ideas out there that we further want to explore as we move forward. We always want to get, again, that appreciation for like, oh, cool. So this is, right, this is what it's doing for me. And I don't really like what it does at that one point, but who cares? We'll take care of that then. And some of this stuff that we're doing, by the way, I'm not going to do anything off of it, but know this. Because we're staying fast right now to just laying out. But I just want to point out, don't get bent if you don't like the way something is looking or acting, or right, like you want more pizzazz, because all you have to do is come somewhere like Bootsnap and put in Art Deck. And you'll have 16 trillion different ideas to pick from to style it and make it better and whatever, right? These are all Bootstrap implemented designs that are available to you 100%. There's your preview. There's your CSS, your HTML. There's your CSS. And it's really not that difficult to get this stuff in. If you were going to go, I said I wouldn't do it, but I'm going to. I'm going to take this one just because it looks pretty straightforward. And if I fall over, I'm going to abandon it quickly. I'm going to go in, what was this? Education. So the next one is, if this works, I'll put it up to Slack for you guys. Skills.
Skills or social media.
I'm going to come into my content. I still want to put a video of Napoleon Dynamite in here saying he's got mad skills. Nunchuck skills, nonetheless. Format it. Now, one of the things that I'll do in here and see if it works, and if it doesn't, I won't abandon it at that point. But one of the things I will do in here is I'm going to copy this. I'm not going to apply it yet, and you'll see why. I'm going to update skills. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to refresh. So even without their formatting, I kind of like that, right? Now, if I wanted to see what their formatting would do, I like that. The problem is it went after a bunch of my things, right? The beauty is skills. I'm going to add a class to this column here. Skills. WP. Copy. Update. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to put that there so I have it. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to refresh. I'm going to go down to skills. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take this class that I created, right? I don't want it changing my body color. There's a good chance that I want it to address the spans. So I'm only going to do it anywhere inside of that container, right? So same thing here. That link, I don't want it touching my links, putting that line under it, but maybe I want it in there. So what I can do is say, right, dot skills. So it's still showing there. It's gone from up there. My box padding. Right? I don't want that affecting the rest of my site. My box part. My text. Awesome icons. So what I've done is I've drilled all those new styles right down to that particular thing. Here's the other thing. If in the future, and I'll share this with you then, if in the future you decide you want to get rid of this, right? You now have to go in and update your CSS and things like that. So, right, wrong, or indifferent, but leverage your CMS, in my opinion. You know, we just tested our CSS, right? So I'm going to go out, use a minifier. I have it all right here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go inside my WordPress page that I'm using this on, because I know I'm not stepping on anything else outside of that container, right? So why not isolate the CSS with it as well? That way, if I'm going to remove it, well, one thing I know that WordPress does that pisses the developer off is it tries to, and it's fine, and rightfully so, right? It's doing its job. It's a CMS. It tries to format what we put in there. But what it won't do is it will respect that it knows a decent developer will know to minify and put all their CSS in one line. So I urge you, I won't put it out there till we know it works. So I have my section there. I have that there. I have all that there. That should have saved by now. So let's go see. Oh, we're still, hang on. We're still blowing up. Also, while we're waiting for that to load, remember, we have these awesome things called revisions over here. So you can always go back in your code. Gotta be kidding me. And so that applied now, right? And yes, we got a little wonkiness there because those styles interfered a little bit. And that's where we probably would go, we don't want to change our main CSS. We would go adjust for them with that CSS that we injected. So what I injected in there for anybody who's interested, otherwise just put cards in there. You need to have content in your site. We need to be building. There you go. That's out there now. Cool. So at this point, take this apart. And that's, I mean, it doesn't look exactly the way we want it. And you can see some of my styles got wonkified. Like I said, WordPress will do that. So let's go see what it did. I like chopped up my styles a little bit here. I don't know who it thinks it is. Oh, maybe I shouldn't put span and I should put style. Silly me. If you're copying my code, be very careful. Your mom did warn you about me. I was wondering what was going on there. It didn't look quite exactly like it did. So now we go down to skills, right? We'll have to take care of some margin issues and things like that. But it's exactly what we wanted, which is a break from that look, right? We wanted it. Yeah. So now we're down to styles, interests. All right. So I don't know. We got lucky. Should we go for it again? What the hell? I'm one to press my luck. It's just what I do. It's what I'm good at. Yeah. That's right. No, we don't want to do a light box yet because we don't want a light box on a phone. There's nothing more annoying than light boxes on phones.
And then going and changing. It's not a light box on mobile, it's just more.
Yeah, that's funny. That's Canvas's dashboard. Somebody recreated Canvas's dashboard and put it out there. Right? It's what we do, man. It's what we do.
That's how I learn. Sites already.
That's, in the end, that's how everybody learns. HTML. Let's give it a shot. There's my container. I'm going to go container to container. So I'm looking for the closing section. It's a lot of code down there. I'm taking a chance here. Nope, I'm going to abandon it. If you notice, there was a lot of like different code scripts and stuff being called in. I really don't want to get, right? What we're trying to do is get ourselves built by the end of this class, get our first build out. And we can be a little bit picky, but not too. What are we looking for again? Is it skills? Interests, you know? Yeah, that sucked. Let's try skills. This could be interesting. Why not? Again, not saying you want to keep it. Container, there's my container, there's my row. I'm going to go ahead and take inside the row. So I should have, that's my row. I'm going to copy that. We might not like this, right? I'm going to put it in, right? We know that we want to use it for, if we like it, we want to use it for skills. But for now, I already have something in skills and I don't want to, I'll flip flop them then. For now, I just want to get it in and see if it's going to work for us. So interest is in skills and skills is in interest. We'll flip that around then, if this works. I have a container there with my title. Another thing I'll do when I'm doing this with WordPress stuff, I'll actually have W3C validator up and paste my code in there real quick, just to make sure that I'm not like, when I'm stealing like this, that I'm not missing a div or, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, someone else coded it, and not being mean or whatever, but they very well could have. So this is really nice because what they did is exactly what a really good developer would do. Notice how everything is skills, skills, skills. They didn't like anybody's, like override anybody's stuff kind of thing. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I'm going to copy that, and this time I'm going to put it inside style tags. And then this one, I believe, had some JavaScript with it. And it's for the counter, and it's leveraging jQuery. And luckily, guess what? We're using jQuery. So we should theoretically, additionally, be able to come in here and say, that's one of the nice things about using a CMS, right? Like Spank's website, a lot of things that you see happen on there with banner ads and stuff like that is actually, so Magento is a CMS as well. It's an e-com, but it has CMS built in it. The code is actually embedded in like this so that you're all over.
Are you doing script or style? You're gonna have both.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Script, update, cross your fingers. I'm scared.
Makes it feel good, isn't it?
So I'm thinking definitely the styles didn't apply. Oh, well, that might be because, so that's there, that's there, that's there. Skills 5 counter. Let's go look at our CSS. Skills 5. I think we're missing skills 5, which I think that they put on. It's an outer class, which is fine. So I think what we need to do, and I'm not going to play this game of going back and forth. I'm going to come out to my container. I'm going to put skills 5, and there we go. So now I know I can go back here to my container, put in skills 5, update it. Let me tell you something. To be able to solve that quickly took me a lot of years of bullshit anger, and I can remember now would have taken me days to figure that out. Like days. Like, why did that take me so long to figure that out? And see, even our numbers worked. Again, if we decide we want to keep that, we'll want to flip-flop it, right? And we'll want to go ahead and make it a little more responsive. I think I'm going to keep that for now. I'm happy enough with that. We can, you can do something with that. You can have fun with that. That was interest, pages, all. You may drop at least one page if you would like. I don't think it's in your best interest, but we'll go after awards, and why not? Awards. Cards. So I'm going to stop wasting time there, and because I want these awards in, I'm going to come over here real quick, and I think I'm going to steal this. Again, I'll share it out to you just to change it up a little bit. You can come in here at any point and find something else. And the other cool part about this, right, is so our interests, our awards. There's awards. Awards is right there, right? That's our awards. If you really wanted to get an immediate appreciation for how it was going to look, click on that section, edit as HTML, come in here, paste that in there. That's that card. Oh, that's not where I was looking. Where the hell was I? Was that it? Hush. I think I just got myself lost. Cards. Could have sworn we were just. Right here. Copy. the awards. Div container, row, that's in there. Content, here's what we put in. No gutters. 8 and 4. And the cool part about this is what we can do is we can say edit as HTML. We put that in there, that awards thing. If you want to see how it's going to look, right, you can put a bunch in. Right, now we can get a feel. We're just missing the image. That's it. Right, and we can get a feel for how that's going to work. But what we do know at this point, right, is that, oh, all right, that's good enough. So I can edit my HTML, and I could pull it out of here if I wanted to, right, if I was working on it. What I am going to do is come in here where content is, under awards. I'm going to paste that code. I'm going to copy it, paste it, format it. Paste that in. Image. I'll come out and change that later. And if I want to, I'll put in, let's just say 3 of them. Not that I have that many awards, 4 of them. Right? I don't have enough awards to. And then our very last. I'll share that code out if you want it. You can easily right click on my site and steal that as well. But the last one I'm going to send out to you because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time getting caught up on this one. And I want you to have a good solid contact form on your site. I just want to make sure it goes in good, and we'll make it work better as we move forward. But right now, I want to see how it goes in. I'm actually going to get rid of up to container. No, you know what? We'll leave it. Container can be in a container, and a container has a row for now. Instead of screwing our code up, let's just leave it alone. Let's format. Select all, copy. You'll see that it actually, I doubt it will work for you because of cross-domain policy when I give you this code. But you'll see in here, it's going out to a validator and a contact.js, and that's actually using a PHP, and you'll have that before we're, right, contact PHP, and I'll give that to you next class. I'm going to go ahead and update this. And so at this point, right, you have the beginnings of a nice looking contact form. And I'll put that in Slack now. I figured it out over the weekend. I'm going to push through some of our classes, and I'm going to push you quite a bit. I'm not going to put extensive homework on you because I want you to work on in this class, because I want you to work on getting this portfolio thing done. What we do in class, you need to be doing. If you're not with it, you need to be doing. And if you are with it, you need to be trying to update your content. You know what I mean? Like trying to figure out, take your resume, paste it in, it's a starting line.
That last one, contact page?
Yes, sir. And then Thursday, remind me. We can remember. I'll try to remember. Thursday, maybe we start off with the contact form because we want functionality, and then we'll come back and do pretty.
We gotta talk about Thursday, what are we doing Thursday?
Oh shit! I'll be here Thursday.
Did you? push
Let me
out-
stop the broadcast real quick. Sorry.
Did you push out interest and